All right, the good news, they dropped all the charges against the Duke lacrosse players. Dom, don't you think because this is all over, they should go out and celebrate, maybe go to a strip club?
That's a good idea. Who would have thought a stripper would try to hustle them a little? That came out of nowhere.
I want to ask you about her. Her name is go Dom. Do you want to jump in?
No, if they sue her, they're going to get paid in singles.
That's true. Bill, her name is Crystal Gail Mangum.
And that's her real name,
wow.
not her stripper name.
Yes.
Amazing.
I love that name, though. Mangum. It's like she chews them up and spits them out.
Like so many man gum?
Yes.
I see where you're going with that, Maestro.
Can I say
we got to move
something?
on. Yes, Dom, go for it. You get the last word on this topic.
I'm not saying any political or... I've been raped several times. It's not as bad as it sounds.
I apologize for that, by the way.
Yes, it was actually Bill Schultz. Dom, I want to ask you a question. The White House wants to hire a new war czar, someone to oversee Iraq and Afghanistan. And they've asked 3 retired generals so far, and they all have said no. Do you have any suggestions on who should be our war czar? Anybody?
There's a great gig, huh?
Yeah.
What a future that gig has. I don't know. I would say, off the top of my head, Reverend Al Sharpton. I don't know why, but I think he'd be the man. He seems to know everything about everything.
That's true. That's true. Dom, don't you think that our country right now is more consumed by Britney Spears' vagina than they are fighting a war?
Guilty.
Yeah, I know Bill is.
Especially Britney Spears' vagina. But I honestly, if that was on, I could not help but watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a really important question.
I couldn't, as morally apprehensible as I would be, I would watch it in a second. And maybe even eat popcorn while I was watching. How sick is that?
Pretty sick. Pretty darn sick.
I have a really important question about
honest,
that. Can we see that picture again? Yeah. Which one plays the Simon Cowell role in this reality show? Is it the guy with the gun?
I don't know anymore.
That's cold.
Rachel, the voices in your head will answer that question.
No, never tell her to obey the voices in her head, Greg. How many times do I have to tell you?
You guys are just nasty with me today because I won't go skateboarding with you after the show.
I don't know.
All right. Speaking of which, I don't know, Corey, you know, the thing is about winning an Oscar, that's based on achievement. But the fact is, Larry Burkett's achievement is actually just ejaculating into a very drugged up woman.
True.
Allegedly. Allegedly, I say. Allegedly.
Very allegedly. Well, you know, I mean, that can be an achievement depending on what sort of chemicals you are on.
Yes.
I mean, it's sort of more like winning an Oscar. It's more like he won like a little Dakota Fanning.
That's true. You know who's on top, though? Rudy Giuliani. Mm-hmm. He's doing well in the polls. But the thing is, these reporters in Alabama do the same thing every reporter does. They do this quiz on groceries. They always have to ask a politician, how much is a gallon of milk and how much is a loaf of bread? And, of course, he didn't know. He said a gallon of milk was $1.50 when it's actually $3.40, and a loaf of bread is $1.25, and he says it's $2. But the thing is, what I want to know is, reporters don't know this either. The only thing reporters know is how much is a bottle of scotch and how much their Prozac costs. Am I right?
Well, I'm not a reporter, so I don't know. So you guys tell me.
He's not trying out to be a contestant on The Price is Right, for crying out loud, and he's not going to be chief coupon clipper of the United States. So who really cares?
But what they're trying to do is to see if he can like connect with the common man,
with the people.
With the people.
I don't want him to connect
with how much I pay for bread.
Dom, I don't want him to connect with common people. I want him to be an elitist.
I don't want a leader to be grocery shopping. I agree. I don't think he should know that.
I agree.
I'd rather him know a little bit more about politics. That'd be important.
Or policy, maybe. Instead of politics, maybe policy. Maybe creating policy to create a better America, huh?
Corey, do you know how much a gallon of milk costs in New York?
I'm very intolerant of lactose, but, you know, I am wondering, when was the last time we didn't have a millionaire like president? You know, when are we ever going to elect someone who's not wealthy?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. All right. We got to stop
I don't want to get all serious. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's go.
Charges dropped at Duke. Dom asked why Jesse Jackson and his Rainbow Coalition aren't defending the lacrosse players now. That's an easy one. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. There's no white in a rainbow. Oh, Dom, also my Italian friends asked me to pass on a message for the DA. It says Naifangul. I don't know what that means. Maybe you can explain it. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I knew it didn't make sense.
It's an international term.
Cool. Rachel, I don't even know where to start, so I'm not going to.
Well, it's okay because your mom just called. She says she has your dinner ready after the show, so it's all good.
Go to sleep, crazy lady. Let's see. Hey, you know who the big loser in this whole Imus mess is?
Who?
Don Imus. It's a softball, Greg. Come on, hit it back. By the way, I am mad at you, Snoop. Let's see. Beheadings are just like American Idol. Again, don't know where to start, so not gonna. Greg, Larry Burkhead's achievement is only ejaculating into an extremely drugged up woman?
Yes.
Only?
Only. I want to talk about my other favorite army, Germany, which sent a draft notice to a 4-week-old baby. Apparently there was some kind of typo, and the baby was drafted. But I'm thinking, and Corey, I want to bring you into this, I'm thinking, what's wrong with an infantry?
Good one. Yes.
Because you know one, if you put babies out there, who's going to attack a baby? If we have babies strapped to our tanks, and we just go in, who's going to shoot at a baby, Corey?
That's absolutely right. It's a great plan, and I think Rachel's ready to see them at war. I think Rachel's ready to put them to the test.
No, since you put words in my mouth, let me just tell you, I objected to Hitler Youth, and I kind of
Corey, she prefers to consume them. She doesn't want an empty menu.
Give me the baby.
I disagree because they think that we're the infidels, so if we're a baby or not, they'll still shoot at us. I mean, look at what they did during 9/11. Come on.
I was being facetious about the infants.
I tell you, I'm just serious here. I'm just too serious, I tell you.
All right, well, Corey, let's get out of the gutter here. Do you have any strong feelings about these relationships?
You know, I would like to say, and I think all your viewers will agree, that Justin Timberlake is basically God, and he can make out with anyone he wants, anywhere he wants.
Is this an offer, Corey?
I beg your pardon?
Is this an offer?
This is always an offer, but JT, I don't think he rolls that way.
That's true. I just love the way you spin in the chair when you talk.
Yeah, well, it's because, you know what? It's because I can't believe your show's still on TV, Greg. This is insane. What's wrong with this world?
All right. You know he has a good point. Anyway, Red Eye wishes a happy 75th birthday to Cheetah the chimpanzee. He's the animal star of 12 Tarzan films in the 1930s and 40s, and the current resident of an old primate's home in Palm Springs, California. Partygoers report the senior simian had a wonderful time until someone brought up Dunstan from Dunstan Checks In. I wouldn't let that hack throw my own poop, huffed Cheetah, who slammed the door of his suite after requesting 2 orangutan whores to be sent to his room. Stats. How do chimpanzees live that long? I thought that they lived. They were like fish.
Well, like the ones that are in the wild don't have orangutan whores, so therefore they've got nothing to live for.
Well, all they have to do is eat, sleep, and then procreate and throw poop.
Throw poop.
Yeah.
Much like Bill throws poop.
No stress.
Greg,
no stress.
what happens off camera? Come on.
All right. We tried to call my mom, but the line is busy. She's the only person that has dial-up internet on the planet.
She is so sweet, and I was so looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to tell her that, and you know what? For this punishment, no food or water for 3 days.
Oh my God.
She knows when she ticks me off. That's what happens.
Cruelty to seniors. Cruelty to seniors.
And you know
I'll sneak you some Tic Tacs, Mrs. Gutfeld. I promise.
There's a reason why I have a lock on the outside of the closet. That's where she's going. Claire Walsack checks in. You talk about nothing and anything remotely serious you joke about. That's a double negative, I think. I wish you all much success somewhere else and soon. Aww. I think she's a secret fan. Craig Rogers from Denton, Texas writes, "You're creepy, but dare I say I love you. Do you need an assistant? I own pants. If you didn't own pants, I would have hired you. But now that you own pants, I'd want nothing to do with you. Sorry."
Also, an update to that earlier story about the BYU mechanical engineering students who created a merry-go-round that generates electricity from children spinning it around. The students are now saying that the hardest part is actually getting the children into the van. And then we'll have part 5 of Greg Gutfeld's investigative series, What in the World Are Germans Having Sex With Now? This week, the Florida manatee. By the way, Greg, I thought the most interesting part of this segment was when you demonstrated how the Florida manatee's large, flexible, prehensile upper lip acts in many ways like a shortened trunk, and how this is what drives the Germans into such a frenzy.
That's true. They're quite sexy.
They are. And finally, Rachel Marsden will explain to gays that fag is just a British term for cigarette.
Mom called, time for your dinner.
Seriously, you got to get a new writer.
Ditto for you, buddy.
Ooh, good one.